Well, hey there, this is Jerry with What's Broke Today, and I'm bringing you a Wright stander that intermittently he hits bumps and it scalps the yard. Let me show you what I found. Okay, and this mower has well over 2,000 hours on it, and he has literally wore out the no flat front tires that came on this. So, and real simple to remove, just an 1 1/16 socket. Originally, I don't know why this one doesn't, but that piece welded on there is supposed to keep it from turning. That there. So we can just take that nut off and slide our bolt out and get rid of our crippled wheel, and then I have nice pretty new ones. Now, needless to say, these did not come from Wright, but yeah, probably ought to get my grease gun and lube them seals. I ordered these, which these are actually decent wheels. They're you can get them on Amazon or eBay, and the company that makes them, they actually, I mean, I've had great luck with them. Why I keep buying them, because they're about half the cost of the OEM Wright standard ones. But we put some grease on the seal so these little spacers don't give us a problem. And then we can just, and I always put the grease, I got the fork around backwards, I always put the grease fitting so it's going to be toward the inside while they're mowing. I don't know if it really matters. And we'll put our bolt back through, and now probably the biggest difference, thing with these is we can't over tighten this bolt, because this actually uses tapered bearings. We just got to kind of take out the slack and give it just a little bit of preload on the bearings. Of course, as I tighten it, then I spin it a little. I'll tighten it a little more and spin it. Alright, and as soon as I get that done, now I'm going to pump her full of grease. Then when I get them on and greased, I spin them. Now the other thing I look at is push this forward and backwards, and there's just a little bit of play in these caster bearings, but not much. And then I want to adjust the mower deck and level it out. That is done. Let's see. With these bolts right here. So there's 2 at the front and 2 at the rear. And I'm just going to spray some rust penetrant in here on the front 2. And then I'll show you where the rear two's at in a little bit, even though I'm not sure I got to mess with those. But I know I got to mess with these, I'm sure. Okay. All right. Then the next thing I want to do is he wants the deck adjusted so that when he puts it on 3 inches, the blades are cutting at 3 inches. So I went through my sockets and measured, and the closest I come is this one, which is about 3 inches plus a 1/16 of an inch, or 3 1/16. So we're going to use this socket. Got 3/4 inch wrench for adjusting. Also, so we got our new tires on the front, which that raised the front end of this up a bunch. Went to my rear tires on both sides. And I usually put either 10 pounds in each or 12 in each, something like that. And I put actually 12 in these because most of his yards are relatively smooth and he wants to be NASCAR. So we got 12 pounds in the rear tires. And then we'll come back here to the back. And see, it's got this graduated thing here for height. And right now he's got it on 3 3/4. And this looks like 3 should be that one. Yeah. 3 3/4. Yep. And once we get that set on 3, then we'll just drop the deck down. I'm gonna have to hold the camera because this is so close to the ground, but wonder he cuts anything at all. Look at all that grass build up. Oh. All right, so I got my socket ready. I'm gonna go here to the front. As you can see, well, the blade's about 1/4 of an inch lower than my socket. And then back here, it's about maybe 1/8 of an inch. Okay, now let's see if this will turn, because that looked extremely rusty, and it is no telling when's the last time someone tried actually to do any adjusting on this. So let's grab this with my pliers. Might actually end up going and getting a wrench. But yeah, so we can put our 3/4 on the bottom. Let's see if that'll turn. So far that ain't looking good with it like that. Let's try this again. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then I want to come over here to the other side. We'll do the same thing. I'll go. Oh, wrong way. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Well, I brought that up a bunch. It's about 1/8 of an inch. 1/8 of an inch below my socket. Let's come back here. 1/8 of an inch. So let's see if I can, let's make sure the rears can move before I go any farther. Okay, when we get to the back, we've got here and over here behind the safety switch, which, I'll say the safety switch has been cut and bypassed. And this side's almost all the way up as far as it'll go. And this one, that's actually loose. So let's come here and take the slack out of this one if I can. Got all the slack out. I'm going to take just a little bit more. Okay, and that side actually, that turns easy. Really surprised me for a high hour mower. And then the back on this side needed to come up about 1/8 of an inch, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull this side up while I'm here. Come back over here. And of course, you notice I got the blade going straight front to back. I'm going to start out here at the rear, and yeah, still didn't quite get there in the rear, and I still got to go up in the front. And now I'm going to actually go over and do the same thing on the other side, only I don't think you'll be able to see because of all the grass. All right, well, I got everything adjusted. Now in the front, my socket was about 3 1/16. I'm about a 1/16 shorter than my socket on the front. At the rear, on the left side, my socket will, it goes underneath it and it rubs solid. This side, it just barely misses, so I'm within a 1/16 of an inch on the rear, because I always want the front just a little lower than the back. And I made sure all my chains and adjusters, I didn't have any slack in none of them. Now when I did get to the end of adjusting over here, this got so tight I couldn't turn it. So I loosened up the lock nuts on this rod. We have right-handed threads at the front, left-handed threads at the rear. Loosened up the nuts and then just turned the rod to turn this adjuster and raise it to finish out my adjustments. And all we gotta do is pick up tools and take her for a test run. Well, Wright stander's done. I took out for a mow. It is wet out here from all the rain, so I scraped on the deck a little bit just because it's clogging up, but where I went to a place where I had mowed a few days ago, and it did all right. They got rid of that where you'd hit a bump and it'd dig in that front center blade. And the overcut quality looks great. So I'm going to call them, tell them to come grab it. Hey, I appreciate you watching. Thanks for all those thumbs up for the likes. Thank you for all those comments. And I'll say, if you're not a subscriber, join on in, because they'll tell them what else you're going to see on What's Broke Today. Thank you.